why are the Chicago Bulls still trying? This is honestly a team that should have started their rebuild last year, but for some reason are still trying to push for something. And I say something because there's no way they're going for a championship. I mean, there is no way. Now, this isn't me saying that they don't have a talented team, because they are, you know, play-in quality. You know, they could win a couple play-in tournaments here and there, and maybe at their maximum peak win a playoff series, but there is no chance at a championship here. And honestly, it's great that they still have good talent on their team, with players like Zach Lavine and Demar Derozan who still hold really good value. You could trade them, get some younger guys in your roster, or even some good picks, stuff that would actually give you a huge head start in a rebuild, and I mean, could honestly put you in a better position than where you are now. And that's something that a lot of these teams that want to rebuild wish that they could have. But why should the Bulls rebuild, right? It's still so early in the season. They could still turn things around and, you know, go and win that championship. And I'm not saying that they can't. You know, we've seen crazier things happen in the season, but the truth is they should have started the rebuild last year. But with that aside, they're already off to a 1-2 start, which, to be honest, should be an 0-3, considering that the one game that they did win had Alex Caruso playing the best game of his career. And it's not even like they actually held the game the entire time. Like, this was a terrible game for the Bulls. You can see that right here. This is something that we'll be looking at throughout this entire video, is their lead tracker and how their games seem to look throughout the season so far. This isn't good. You don't want this. Even though they won, even though if you look at it for face value and they won the game, you don't want your games to look like this. Now, not only are they off to a rough start when it comes to their games and them losing a ton, but they already had their first players only meeting, which I think a lot of people are going to exaggerate and say, oh my god, it's terrible. Oh my god, the players hate each other. Players only meetings aren't terrible every single time. Like, it's good to see these meetings where these guys are holding each other accountable, saying, hey, you need to play better, blah 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 blah, which one of those players who should be playing better is obviously Patrick Williams, someone who wanted $200 million and is averaging less than 4 points per game in the season. And when we go back and speak about the Alex Caruso game winner, this is him when watching that game winner happen. Overall, not great. If you can't see him, he's right here, right? Alex Caruso just hit a game winner in overtime after what was a crazy game, and he just walks away. Not sure whether or not you think that's good or bad, but he walked away. So maybe he was one of the people that got absolutely fucking cooked in that players only meeting. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and take a look at some of the other performances throughout the season for the Chicago Bulls, right? So this is their first game against the Oklahoma City Thunder. I mean, it looked like an even game up until the fourth quarter, where it is actually a Minecraft block of points right now. I mean, this is absolutely disgusting, and this isn't the only time we will see these fourth quarter jumps for the opposing team for the Chicago Bulls. Here's a Toronto Raptors one that we showed recently with the Bulls absolutely sucking ass in the fourth quarter, leading the Raptors, who obviously have their best quarter be the fourth quarter. And then their most recent game against the Detroit Pistons, my tab is lagging for some reason. All right, that's awesome. Thank you, NBA.com, which is yeah, another heavy fourth quarter performance. Now, obviously here it's not just the fourth quarter, but if I showed you this chart and you didn't watch the game, I'm sure it'd be hard for you to assume that Zach Lavine had 51 points. Now, the Pistons are a team that I want to go over and talk about in another video because they're really interesting to me, and I've actually found myself really loving their games recently. But Zach Lavine scored 51 points, and this still happened. It wasn't even a close matchup, and that just goes to show that the Bulls still have talent. They still have players on their team who could do good things, but just not in this environment with the roster that's built around them. I just don't know if it can happen. The biggest question that Bulls fans who don't think that they should rebuild keep on asking is, man, I wonder if we had Lonzo Ball right now, would we still be good? Oh my god, man. It's a fair question, right? Lonzo Ball, back when he was playing for the Bulls still and wasn't injured, they were good, right? It was the last time they were good, and maybe that's why the Bulls aren't rebuilding yet. Maybe they think that when Lonzo comes back, they'll get back into their groove. They'll be back to how they were before, right? Number one seed in the East for a little bit. It's just not gonna happen. It's just not gonna happen. And I don't know exactly if that's why the Bulls haven't done the rebuild yet. Like, that's just me assuming things, but it's just a ticking time bomb if that is the case. I mean, it's a ticking time bomb right now for them to not be rebuilding currently as we speak. You're just wasting more time, and you're making it more miserable for your fan base and for the players and the team and the franchise and the coach. It's just miserable overall. It's just terrible. But once again, it is still early in the season. We still have so much more to go, and we've seen teams turn it around before, right? The Kings started last season 0-4 and ended the year as the 3rd seed in the West, right? It's not impossible, but at the same time, it's just not looking great. So you guys let me know down in the comments, do you think the Bulls should blow it up? If so, what should they do? Should they trade DeMar and Zach for picks or other young talent? I love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. I read every single one. I reply to everyone. So if you did enjoy, be sure to like and subscribe. Click the video up on the screen. And yeah, I'll see you guys all next video. Hopefully the Chicago Bulls can pick it up by the next time I'm talking to you guys. Later.